Welcome back to Coriander Society Adventures, the show featuring a wandering wizard, a mad inventor, and someone who's really good at punching. Welcome back, everybody, to Northport.
Been a while.
Yeah.
That
Been a
felt
hot minute.
good. Felt like old times.
Right?
Do.
Oh. Well, I mean, it would be back to Northport with one small, slight, minor exception.
Of course.
What do you mean by that?
Asena, you step into the gateway.
Oh, right.
And the world recedes from you. But this time you can still feel Hara right next to you. Her hand over yours. She is moving in slow motion. She's floating in the same void that you are, but every single strand of hair in her tightly put up bun and every motion of her head is incredibly, incredibly slow. Whereas you seem to be moving in real time.
Oh, weird.
And as you float into this gateway, you can see the spiraling, almost like a long, winding tornado. And you're already caught in it. Hara is already being pulled into it. It's what you just stepped through. In fact, if Hara had stepped through this gateway behind her by herself, there wouldn't have been a gap. She wouldn't have noticed. It would drag her and hurl her to the other side so fast, no time at all would seem to pass. You are experiencing this. You can feel Hara pulling not away from you, but forward. And if you hold on, you'll be pulled with her to the other side of the portal. But all around you, beyond the swirling gray tunnel in which you float, are the astral skies, silvers and pinks, and infinite light in infinite directions.
Whoa.
You can go along for the ride, can pull her away, or you can let go. What do you do?
I'd like to try to pull Hara towards me
Okay.
and see if I can pull her into the plane that I'm experiencing.
You can. It will involve you pulling yourself out of this spiraling tunnel and pulling her through with you.
Okay.
Is that what you want to do?
Yeah.
Nate, I have a question before you continue.
Yes.
How long did it take Hara to set up the portal?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Quick question, because I forgot before we went into the portal that this was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a plan.
You forgot.
Well, it's been like, at least 10 or 11 episodes since this thing happened, and which was like 20 something episodes in. So, but I had a plan that I wanted to do that I forgot to set up. Could I give you a inspiration possibly and see if I could do such a thing?
I will hear your offer. One inspiration on the table for...
I wanted to cast scrying on Asena before she enters the portal to see if I can see where she goes.
Okay. Does that work across planar boundaries?
That is on the same plane of existence as you.
Okay. So
I'm hoping that I would cast it. I can concentrate it for up to 10 minutes, and that I would step in right behind her and see if it would work. That was my plan, is to see what I could see. See if, like, while we were in that boundary place, if that would be a thing.
Okay. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take your inspiration. I'm going to take your spell points.
Okay.
Hara and Asena step through the portal first, and you immediately can feel the scrying spell snapping. It's like that tether is cut off and it's pulling aside. Do you dive into the portal immediately?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I followed him right through.
Roll an intelligence saving throw.
Okay. I'm a wizard. I'm normally good at this. Let's find out if I'm good enough at this.
26. Yeah, no, that'll count. Great. You have no idea what's happening yet. We have to figure out what's going on with Asena first. All right.
Cool, yeah, sounds
so,
good.
Asena, you are going to pull Hara through the conduit wall to the other side, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You're pulling against this supernatural force that's drawing Hara down this pathway. Roll
Also, mate,
Yes.
Asena gets a save if she wants to save against it.
True.
Just point of order.
We'll see if we even get to that point.
Copy that.
All right. Roll an intelligence check, Asena.
Oh,
Just
I'm bad at those.
A flat intelligence check.
Okay. Where are you? You're over here.
14. That's not bad. That's
actually not bad because I have a
know.
-1 in that.
All right. You pull, and as you pass through this spiraling wall of wind, you can feel the resistance, and you keep tugging, and then the two of you pass through it, kind of somewhat spun around, somewhat disrupted, and you're both floating in this astral space. And Hara is now moving at the same speed that you are.
Nice. I did it. Can I talk to her? Like,
Yeah.
Can she hear me?
Yeah,
Can
she
say
can.
that?
She looks around, startled, surprised. Didn't expect this at all. What you can talk to her. What do you say?
So this is the star thing I told you about. I don't think I see the jargon.
Oh.
But I thought you'd be into it. So I pulled you through the wind.
Hara consults everything that she knows that she's from her studies. This is the astral plane.
You can do flips and stuff. And then I'll like do a little like
It's like
yeah.
She brushes out her jacket. That's fascinating.
It was fascinating. I mean, it's pretty over here, huh?
Yes. I don't think I've ever actually seen it. I've passed through it, but normally no one would notice.
Is it because everyone else is going really fast?
Yes. It's supposed to be instantaneous transit.
You were kind of slow motion earlier until I pulled you.
You can perceive at heightened rates on the astral plane as well. I don't know of any dragons that have an innate link to the world between worlds. You know where you can go from here, Asena?
Where?
Anywhere.
You know, that's what I was kind of thinking.
No, every time somebody casts a spell that teleports from one place to another or a dimensional gate, it passes through here. Scholars, wizards, and sorcerers can spend their lives without ever mastering the magic to go here directly without just cutting through from one place to the other. But you've pulled us out of the portal conduit.
Well, if I've done it once, I could probably do it again. We could all just go wherever we want.
We could. This could change everything. This could be our key to skipping the Dark Tower entirely.
Sounds cool.
How would we find the other wind tunnels?
Well, from everything that I've read about this place, you just have to think about it. This is a realm of thought, Asena. A realm of mental energy, not a place of physical distances. You focus on something, you'll be drawn towards it.
Focusing's hard.
Yes, well, we'll keep working on that. The only problem is you can find your way to a specific world, but there's no telling where you'll come out in that world.
What if we come out in the sky and then we fall in, and
That problem we could probably manage. But there are other dangers. We could return to your world, your home world, and emerge on a completely different planet. One without any oxygen on it.
Do we need oxygen?
Yes, we need oxygen.
Oh, that would be bad then.
Yes.
So we should probably not go through random wind tunnels.
Not this time. Not. She's excited. There is a light in Hara's eye that was absent for the last few days.
What?
Well, this is a path to anywhere and anything. With the right preparation, this is the key to the entire multiverse. No, we should probably catch up with the others. This time. It's beautiful.
See, I knew you'd like it.
Shall we?
Asena will do like one more flip before she just thinks about and focuses on heading back towards that wind tunnel thingy.
What's your intelligence score, Asena?
I don't know. There's a -1 and an 8 underneath it.
All right. You fly at a speed of 24 feet. So you just fly right back towards the tunnel. Hara follows suit, and then you can feel its speed. It catches you. There's some turbulence as you get spun around, and you're going hurtling in that direction once again. John, roll an Arcana check for me. Natural 20.
29.
Okay. As you this is like a sequence break thing, like an animation frame glitch in a video game, right? Like a speedrunning trick where when you're casting the scrying, Hara steps in. What's your focus for the scrying, by the way?
Is I have like a mirror.
Okay.
I don't have it written down, but I have the focus.
Okay. All right. So you're looking at this mirror. You step through the portal.
It's like a hand mirror, not a big giant. I saw your hands go up. I want to make sure you know it's like a hand mirror.
Yeah, it's the magic mirror from Beauty and the Beast. So you look into it, and normally astral travel, like when you enter a portal, you might have a brief sensation of a Doctor Who style tunnel, but that's it. It's almost instantaneous. And what happens is, John, you walk through the portal, you come out the other side, and what you have is like this memory, this vision, this photographic vision seared into your brain of you inside the portal conduit, looking in the mirror, and Asena and Hara are reflected in the mirror above you and outside of the tunnel. And simultaneously, as you're looking in the mirror, you're seeing the actual physical reflection of them, and you're seeing your scrying sensor, which is above them, looking back down at you and Gastone hurtling through the tunnel at great speed. You just have that flash. And as you and Gastone emerge in the middle of the museum at night, the two of you are alone.
One moment, please.
You holding my call, or what are we doing?
Mate, once we are out of that plane, it doesn't say that if you're not on the same plane, it doesn't work, or that it's severed. Am I still holding on to the spell for the next 10 minutes, or is it severed once we're no longer on the same plane?
I would normally argue that it is severed. Roll another intelligence saving throw.
I'll drop it.
Okay, you drop it. All right.
I'm just wondering how you're basically reading the spell, like if that's normally what it's going to be doing. So
yeah.
Okay, very good. All right. Well, As soon as they appear, John puts the mirror away, takes a look around, sees a couple of dead ninjas lying on the ground.
Oh, they've been cleaned up by now.
I'm teasing you because I just still see them. John looks over to Gastone. Okay, the last time we were here, we killed a bunch of ninjas, and I'm absolutely positive in the last few days they've stepped up security. And John takes a quick look around. There's not a lot in the way of cameras in Northport, right?
1930s? Nope.
Yeah,
I would argue there are no cameras.
There are cameras protecting Thornacre. You would have determined this by looking at Dr. Zorb, but that's like Zorbius weird science.
That's what I mean. Yeah, but there's nothing. I know they literally exist, but they're just not very common. I would say more so they're rare or very rare.
Yes.
That being said, is there any kind of sensor from the last time we were here or now from what we're taking? You know what? Give me a moment.
I'm going to say the two of you like get spewed out inside this carpet that's going around. Yeah. So this red like barrier thing has a wire that if the wire gets touched, it will trigger an old-fashioned alarm.
Okay.
Also, the portal like flares to life, and special effects are flaring out. So with a 30 perception, you also hear, "What the hell was that?"
Okay, real quick. John is going to summon up. He tells Gastone about the alarm, and hey, alarm, tensile, figure out where it goes, disarm it. And then he throws up a illusion spell over them. Let me just see here. How big can I go with this? Give me just a moment. Oh, can you upcast that? Is there a point to upcasting that? It just asked me if
it
I
lasts
should do it.
until dispelled without requiring concentration.
Oh, interesting.
But with a level 6 spell slot.
Yeah. No, that's my one per day. I'm going to hold on to that for now.
No larger than a 20-foot cube.
So, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and a 20-foot cube. Yeah, boom. What are you looking at? It's like this?
Yeah, like that.
Perfect. That's all still normal. If you walked in, it looks just like just like a little display.
Got it.
We're just inside of and it's an overlay of what all of that should look like, but we're just kind of walking around inside of it.
Okay, it's an illusion of everything being completely normal.
Everything's fine. How are you?
Gastone, you've just emerged from the portal. You're back in the museum. You're up to speed on all of this. John has pointed out the alarm. What do you want to do?
John pulled the alarm?
Pointed out the alarm.
Pointed out the alarm. Should we be worried about the fact that Asena and Hara aren't here?
She's doing that weird dragon stuff again. I'm sure they'll be along shortly. Oh, actually, John saw them through the scrying ish. They were talking, you said, or doing something, right?
Yeah, you had a brief image of them like floating side by side. Roll an insight check, John.
Okay, you're doing what you just said. Sorry, I'm on my spell list. Let me go back to my core list. And insight is right there. Whabam. I might have clicked it twice. 15.
All right. You think Asena was doing a flip.
Okay, so yeah, I tell Gastone, I saw them briefly. They were holding hands, fucking around in the astral sea. They'll be along directly, I hope. Let's just make sure that when they arrive, there's no issues.
So am I able to like very subtly disable security from where we are?
So the security is you've got this red banister thing, and there's a wire, a live electrical wire going through the whole thing. So I'm going to say, do you have an electrician's kit?
Yeah, I have electrician's tools.
Cool. Roll an intelligence-based check with your electrician's tools. $18. All right, you figured out, okay, if this banister gets knocked over or just touched, it'll complete the circuit and that will trigger the alarm. So you take out your tools, you're working the wires, and you're like, all right, all I have to do is sort of loop this over here to itself, or just not touch it. So you've got a couple options. You could either disable it, or literally, if you just don't touch it, you'll be fine.
Asena's going to be coming through here in a moment. We have to disable it before she gets here.
I mean, yeah, I agree. We probably have to.
Okay.
I gotta deal with it.
Little copper wire, tied it onto itself, no problem. At that exact moment, Asena and Hara come flying out of the portal and knock you on your ass directly into the alarm, which you just disarmed.
Dude, why are you in front of the portal?
Also, you're inside the illusion. Two of the security guards just walked in and are patrolling the room suspiciously.
Oh, hey, what if we just don't move?
Hey, everybody, they can't see us. Everything looks normal. Just
Why do we have
questions later.
thoughts empty?
Oh yeah, that's right. You can just do that now.
You can just what?
I could just bother you over here, John.
That's right. Very nice trick. John, I can't do that. I mean, I can, but not the cool. Oh, that's right. You can do that. Yes, this is a safe mode of talking. There was an alarm, but Gastone disarmed it right before you knocked him on his face.
Oh. Well, he still shouldn't be in the middle of the portal. He could have gotten hurt.
He could have. Did you have fun flipping around in the astral sea?
Why are you talking like that?
I'm not. I'm talking normally, but this is for everyone to know that I'm not talking out loud.
The two guards are walking forward. One of them is going to walk right past the illusion. The other is going to walk into it.
I can shift the illusion. I pull it back a little bit.
Okay, you just...
Yep.
The two of them walk by so close, Gastone could touch them. Gastone, roll a stealth check with advantage.
Character sheet. Stealth with advantage.
Nice.
Two 22s. We take those. He does that thing, obviously, where he stops, looks right at you, but doesn't even see you. Turns out he's just like looking at his reflection in the polished, stones behind. And they keep walking.
I like the idea that Gastone is like still sprawled out on the floor. Asena is just like hovering over him, and they're like just not moving in that weird, like almost twister pose.
Mm-hmm. And they keep walking. They do a complete patrol of the whole room. Feel free to interrupt at any time as they just keep making their way around.
Once they're well out of earshot, John, let's add a sigh. Gosh, of course they'd come check in right when this happened. All right, good job, everybody. John holds his hand out to give Gastone a hand up.
I will reach for it. Thank you.
And we reset up the we get around the red. I don't know what you called it. You kept calling it a red thing.
Yeah. It's like a queue. I can't recall what they're called, but it's the thing that you use to make like a queue, we
get out of the way of the queue line thing, and we reset it back up to where it looks fine. Has the portal itself stopped glowing and looking weird?
Yes.
Cool. Well, we've got this thing for a while. It lasts for 10 minutes, I believe.
Yeah.
And John can move it within range. So literally, John's like, "Okay, guys, stick by me. We stay close." And like when you walk around like as the bush just like coming and going, we literally are just like
over your head.
No, like so we're doing that, except that like John's a column, Asena's a column, like Hara's a wall, Gastone's a wall, and we literally just like step in places and are just like hovering up against these objects, and just the illusion is just slowly moving us through the museum.
Potatoes. I'm a yep. All right, everybody roll stealth checks with advantage. John, also roll an Arcana check.
John is rolling Arcana. Should I also roll a stealth check?
Yes, with advantage.
Okay, let me get that out of the way first.
I did awful.
I did fine.
don't tell me if I succeeded or failed. I want to make sure I can use my stuff if they're not up to par. And then Arcana. Again, don't tell me if I succeeded or failed. I feel comfortable with all that.
We won't tell you a thing.
All right. Hara got a 19. Asena, why did your stealth check go so poorly? What happened along the way? You're covered by this illusion. What happened along the way that made it go poorly?
I think she is like still talking to John, but she like forgot to do it through her brain.
So her and John are like bickering, but he's sending her like a message like, no, it's not in my head. Try again. Like, what? What are you talking about? It's not in my head. Put it in my head.
I don't know what you mean, John. I did have fun in the astral plane though. I did some flips. Oh, Hara was with me.
Speaking of Hara, a few things happen. One, you hear some guards. Anyone hear that?
Must have been the wind.
Gastone, what do? You've just heard the guards go. Anyone hear that?
Oh shit.
This is just a quick Joe level with me. 1 to 10. How fucked are we?
All right, so let me break this down for you.
Okay.
A stealth check must defeat, if a creature isn't actively looking for you, you have to beat that creature's passive perception. A passive perception is usually 10 plus your perception score. So most creatures with a neutral, like a 10 wisdom and no ranks in perception, have a 10 for their passive perception. So it is likely that Asena's check just failed by 1 point to get past the most averagely average guard in the universe. That's the math on that. Now, the rest of the math is that these are security guards at a museum. After your most recent adventures involving like dragon spawn, giant robots, and the like, they pose very little of a threat. The problem really is how much of a mess do you want to create? Will that complicate your life, et cetera, et cetera?
I mean, how far did we get, by the way? I felt like we were doing pretty good right up until the talking.
Yeah, you were like you made it out of this room, you made it down one of the corridors, and you were getting out to the lobby, and you could see the doors. You were on the far side of the lobby, and you could see the doors on the other side. There's a fountain
like
in the way.
There, 3/4
Okay.
there.
Mr. DM, sir, I have a proposition.
Oh.
Yes.
I would like to use the fact that I am very safely stealthed. We haven't rolled for initiative, and the fact that I will give you 1 inspiration to allow me to shoot 2 sleep darts to try and hit both of them.
You never did this in Lacunas, and the minute we're back in Geo, you're right back on your bullshit.
I don't need I needed to fucking adapt, but now we're back in Northport. Now we got Northport Gastone.
Oh god, I love it. No, I absolutely love it. It's just it's been so long.
I know, yeah, like experience.
Dude, I feel like
+1
I
XP.
need to get the sleep spell back because I could really help with this sleep stuff.
That's true.
All right, Gastone. From the illusion, you see 2 guards, 2 flashlights shine directly onto the illusion. Anyone hear that? They start walking closer. You spent a point of inspiration. They happen to go around the corner where none of their allies can see them. You are still concealed by the illusion, which grants you advantage. Roll 2 sleep dart attacks with advantage.
Yes.
A 20
Oh my god.
and a
it's
19.
Good. It's good.
And they have to make Constitution saving throws. And your DC went up because you took another point to your intelligence.
That's true.
Yes.
All right, guard the first.
Oh my gosh.
A 19. Guard the second. A 9. Okay, so the first guard gets hit by the dart. And so it's hitting him, and he's drowsy, but he's not asleep. He has penalties on his perception checks. The other guard clonks out. Gastone, go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say, so because his perception has decreased now, he won't notice Asena.
You could use this moment to slip past him. Yes. You'd all need to make 1 more stealth check because he might notice that his guy is down and the situation has sort of changed. But this would cover, for 1 round, the penalty, the last failure. giving each of you
Ooh.
one more thing that you can do.
I'm gonna immediately whisper to everybody. It's like, guys, now's our chance. We gotta go.
Okay, I got this. I'm so sleepy.
Why are you Who
Are
are
you
talking to?
telepathically communicating with him?
Yes.
With the
John?
guard?
John looks
the
up.
No,
guard.
let's just leave.
You don't know she's
John-
doing that. You have no idea she's doing that. That is a one-to-one thing. It's not in your head. It's in the guard's head. She just said, it's okay. I got this.
While Asena's doing that, John wants to look over at Hara and do you have it prepared? Let's get out of here. John
All right.
grabs Gastone's hand.
Before this, as Hara is reaching for Asena's shoulder, Asena, roll a deception check for me.
Okay.
With advantage
let me
because
turn advantage
he's drowsy.
Oh, okay.
Roll a deception check with advantage. A 17.
What do we get?
Oh, I gotta stop putting in these hours. Oh, head's playing tricks on me. Ugh. The strategy is working perfectly. The way to the door is clear, but then Hara puts her hand on your shoulder, and she and John both cast Dimension Door and just teleport you out of there.
Oh,
And we're out.
I mean, I guess.
So funny.
Welcome back to Northport, everybody. It's good to be here.
Oh my gosh.
It's been like 3 months of real time.
I feel like I actually know this map.
Right? It's
Right?
not just a giant mountainous desert.
It's not like, oh, and here's this entire faction with a history that none of you know, and here's this other thing with a history that none of you know, and here's these factions that it's like, no, here we know. We got the Column, we got Zorbius, we know what's going on. A lot of you are still in the area. Dimension Door has a 400, 500 foot range, something like that.
Yeah,
but
it
you've
gets to the parking
teleported
lot.
outside into Ivy Shores, and you're home. You don't have a car on you, but you're home. Where do you go? How do you get there? What do you want to do?
Let's get a cab. We can just head on down straight to the Institute.
Is that the plan? Does that sound good to
Nothing.
everyone?
Man.
Conspicuous about just grabbing a cab. Anything else will get us looked at.
All right. Taxi! Cool. You hop in a cab. It's late at night. And you drive through the familiar streets. Now somehow strange, somehow changed. It's not that they've changed in the past. It's that the last place that you were was the Vosky City, where the cars flew and everything hovered and glowed. And now here you've got the honking of horns and the rain pattering down on the pavement, the sound of radios nearby, and the hubbub, newspapers blowing down the various alleyways as you pass back through Old Town. Through Curtis Town. It's a how long is this? It's over a mile to get there, and cabs aren't super fast, so it's going to take you a few minutes. All the way through Mercury City, past the
I
orchard.
have some
field.
things.
What was that?
If you don't, I have some things. If you don't mind,
Yeah, go ahead.
this is going to be a long drive, and I have a lot of spells. So first of all, I want to send a sending message to Opal, letting her know that we're en route,
All right.
and to prepare Florence and a place for us to work.
Okay.
That is the first of 3. Second, I'm going to be casting the dream spell to see if I can reach out to Florence. Takes a minute to cast. Lasts for up to 8 hours.
Roll a concentration check to cast it on the move, or Constitution saving throw to cast it in the car. You know, these Northport cabbies, they're wild.
Okay. A 9. I'm going to add a deduction dice, at least 1. That should
Okay.
be fine. A 10's good, right?
Yeah, 10's good.
Okay, because it's going to roll at least a 1. So
Yeah. All
I
right.
just marked it off.
Done and done. All right, so John, as you guys are driving through Old Town and the like, John makes some gestures to himself, casts a spell, and then apparently conks out. Are the two of you doing anything on the way? Hara's just sort of sitting in the back. Or do you just want to cut forward to arriving at the Institute?
I have one more after this, just FYI.
Mm-hmm. They have a moment because it takes you like some time to do this. I wanted to check in with them first.
No. I think anything I would like to do is relating to all the stuff I'm sure is stuffed in this taxi's trunk.
Yeah, it's like you guys called the cab and then you just loaded just box after box. The cab is dragging slightly in the back.
Yeah.
No, I don't
Wow.
think I don't think Senna does anything.
I just realized, I feel like I should take this all. I gotta take all this stuff to my lab, don't I?
You don't have all the equipment here at the Institute that you have at your lab.
You're right. Okay. John, proposition.
John's like weaving the oniromantic blue energies around in his hand, about to pull them up to his temples to knock himself out. It's glowing around his hand, and he looks.
He's just like,
"Go ahead.
How can I help you?" I'm about to be out for an undeterminable amount of time. I'm connecting with Florence Giotto.
Okay. Oh wow, that's perfect. That's what I was about to bring up. Okay. Look, I got a lot of shit in the back, and I need to get started on this right away. The Donahue Institute doesn't have half of what I need to even get started on any of this. I think I should go straight back to my lab. Can you bring Florence's pod there somehow?
Well, technically, yes. No, not technically. Absolutely, yes.
Okay, great.
We were able to mount the pod up on the
your floating invisible table.
So I looked to Hara. As long as you have a car I can borrow, we can just drag the thing behind us and I'll disguise it to look like a trailer. Okay, very good.
Unless you want a trailer.
If that can be provided, that would be lovely.
Yeah, it sounds
Everett, he'll arrange.
Perfect. I did already reach out to, and John's like about to like touch his temple to knock himself out. I did reach out to Opal, so she should have everything ready for us.
She nods.
Okay, great.
So in that case, is the cab still going to the Institute?
Yes, it can be. I think it'll go to the Institute because drop them off,
and then it'll go to his lab.
Stuff to my lab.
Okay. So they're just dropping us off. The cab's dropping us off, and then taking Gastone and his equipment up to his lab.
Okay.
Mate, can I do just a slight modification of the order of operations?
Yeah.
I'm not changing what I'm doing, but right before I did the dream spell, could I just pop detect thoughts? Not for very long. I'm literally just going to be reading the surface thoughts of the cabbie first, then Hara, then Gastone, then Asena. I'm not probing anybody. I'm just getting the sense of what's important to everyone right now.
Okay. The cabbie is largely concerned with the suspension of his vehicle. Because they've got all this crap packed in the back. Who knows what they're up to? Look, I don't want to know. This late at night, who do you think they're tangled up with? Nope, don't ask. I don't ask any questions. The less I know, the less I'm going to get in trouble. If the department comes knocking at me and they want to say, "Hey, old cabbie, what do they think? What was in that trunk?" I'm going to say, "Bunch of stuff I didn't look at." And nobody's going to cut off my ears or throw me in the harbor. I'll tell you that much.
Great, he's safe. Okay, Hara, what is she thinking about right now?
I forget, is this ability blockable or no?
The surface thoughts are not. The probing is.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. I'm not digging in to try and look in her memories. All I'm thinking about, if she's in her own head right now, I'm in her own head right now.
Got it. Hara is thinking about...
Let me drop the spell in chat just so you have it.
Hara's thinking about how different the rainy city of Northport is to Ashen. She's thinking a lot about logistics, transportation, judging her facilities against what she knows about Gastone's facilities, judging the danger of transportation in terms of instability of the pod, running through like all the probabilities, a lot of doubt. That's what's on her mind.
Okay.
And then you're skimming Asena's surface thoughts?
Gastone, then Asena, yeah.
All right. Gastone, what are Gastone's surface thoughts?
Just immediately like what he's gonna do as soon as he gets back to the lab. Okay, I have to start putting this thing together. I'll spread out the schematics on the table. I need to separate the parts by type, what they do. I need a space ready for when they bring Florence Giotto's pod. Oh my god, it's still broken. I might have to actually set aside some parts to repair it while so I can work on it without worrying about its actual failure, and then blah 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 blah.
Nice. And then I shift over finally to Asena.
I wonder if I should tell John that he's sleeping and get in his brain before he does his thing. I'm sleeping. I think that joke is probably getting old by now.
Are you actually doing you're sleepy to John or not?
No.
Yet?
No, she's
She's
thinking
just, like-
about it. She's using her mental voice because you're in her
thinking about
thoughts.
it.
No,
Yeah.
I'm making sure because that would be wild to like be in your thoughts and then have you in my head and be like, what's going
Is there
on?
an echo in there?
Spider-Man meme.
Perfect. Okay. And then finally, before the concentration is up, John's going to go back to the cabbie. And since he talked about like he knows about the department and all this stuff, John might need to pull a little something later. So he's just going to try to probe into his head and look for something he's really guilty about, something that he has been hiding from everybody.
Okay.
So he gets a wisdom save.
All right.
Yeah, no.
Roll.
And it's in chat in case you need to see it.
No, I'm consulting a different piece of information.
Oh, okay.
Roll 1d20.
Three.
Okay. And roll 1d12.
I always love how you have like these charts either set up or you very quickly decide on what all this is. It's very nice. 3 again.
All right. He's extremely guilty because he just got in a big fight with his husband and he kept running. Like the cabbie knew he shouldn't be blustering, but he couldn't stop himself from trying to get the last word in. And, you know, things have been rocky and he went to bed angry and he's not feeling great about that.
You think about what he said that he had to get the last word into? You don't have to tell me, but just so John knows it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
It was about doing the chores in the house.
Cool. Thank you. And after that, John goes to bed.
All right. Glowing blue, scintillating energy.
Oh, what's his name? Do I have his name? Be Greg, Steve.
No, it's not Greg. It's never Greg, Matt.
Boblin. It can be Boblin.
It's not Boblin either. It's Donald.
What's wrong with Greg?
It's Donald.
Donald. Ooh,
Greg is the name that gets assigned to every single goblin that gets like Barakai could have been Greg.
Could have been. I thought he was at first.
Barakai was a Greg. Whoever's the person who you like capture, take captive, and force to lead you around and stuff, they're Greg. Doesn't matter what their name was before. All right. And now does he conk himself out? All right. It's going to take you a little while to transport through Dream to find her, during which time the vehicle continues to make its way through the city. Through the Garment District, into the winding hills and streets of Green Vine, the old money, and finally pulling up. John, as you go searching through Dream, roll a charisma check for me. Just a flat charisma check, please.
Alrighty. Oh, check. I put save. My apologies. I don't know if that's going to change.
No,
much.
because you're not proficient in those. 18.
I'm half proficient, so it should be +2, so 20.
Okay, so you find your way to Florence's mind. The dead
Okay.
are rising. Every grave opens itself. They claw their way up from beneath. There are screams in the streets and the towers and the spires of the city. Not a city you've ever seen. A strange one. With discs aligned on top of spires and odd architecture on an unfamiliar purple landscape. And the people, the corpses clawing their way up through the soil, are not human. The people dying by the thousands as the dead devour them are not human. The civilization tearing itself apart is not human. You can see ships fleeing, literal flying saucers rising away from the city, the last bits of light spurting off into the skies as something descends upon this world. Something vast, a celestial body, completely dark, devoid of all light, falling towards the planet. And as its shadow blots out the sun, the dead continue to rise, and the living wither and rot. Clutching as their last breaths are pulled from their body, necrotic energy washes over their flesh, and they don't even hit the ground before they rise as the living dead.
Jesus.
Roll a wisdom saving throw.
Oh my god.
You know, a high would suffice. 17.
17. All right.
Don't tell me if it succeeds or fails. I'm going to use a deduction dice.
All right.
I know
Roll
you already gave it away with the all right, but I already confirmed and committed, so I'm
Roll it
doing
and add it.
Clicked. Here we go. 20.
20.
I feel good with that. Yep.
Okay. You see Florence standing underneath this thing. It's
Thing, like the celestial body.
yeah. You're from Earth. This would vibe with you. Think the bad ending of Majora's Mask.
The giant face moon.
Yeah, except it's just completely dark. There's like maybe the outline of something on it, but it's a moon about to crash into this planet.
And by standing, you mean like floating underneath it?
No, she's standing on the ground of this city as this moon is coming closer and closer, like close enough to start shattering the towers, which come collapsing down. These huge skyscraper structures, over a mile tall, just start to get crushed as it literally makes impact and is going closer and closer, spreading across the entire sky, eclipsing every single piece of light that can be seen.
You know what's both the horrible and amazing thing about this? This is not John, this is Matt. Earlier, I saw this post on Instagram talking about how if you're a DM, what's something you're really good at for DMing? And this is one of those things where I was like, hey, do you have a type out of everything you're telling me? And for a lot of people, to give this kind of a description, I would expect a type out. But for you, I never expect a type out.
Not this time, no.
It's a good thing because you're very descriptive and good at talking about things. Well done.
Me, is your brain good?
Thank you. What are you going to do about the moon about to crush you?
Well, this is Dream, and Dream's my bitch. So as the messenger, I can shape Dream to be whatever I wish while I'm inside of her head. So I am going to shrink the moon down to just an insignificant little pebble that keeps going on its path, but it's now the size of a marble.
Okay. Roll a charisma check to bend the dream to your will.
I'm going to use a luck die to re-roll that.
Okay.
Natural
20.
That's luck.
Okay.
And as part of that, because I didn't know I was going to roll a natural 20, I shrink the moon down to a marble, and the dead, instead of rending and tearing, and the people, instead of rotting and turning into the undeath. Every single being just stands straight up erect, staring at the tiny marble, unmoving, unbreathing. All of the dark purple atmosphere of this alien world begins to somber out a bit, and it still is dark, but it's less alien and horrific, and it's more so like when you press pause on something and then it arrange the brightness, so instead of barely being able to see what's in the darkness, you can adjust your brightness to where now
You
you
slide the
can see.
gamma so that the symbol is just barely visible.
Exactly. So everything's revealed. It's washed in this slightly iridescent blue light, and John steps up to Florence and puts a very calming and reassuring hand on her shoulder. And as the marble comes down, John takes it into his hand and looks at it. Florence, are you okay? It's John. Do you remember me?
Yeah.
Good. How are you?
What's happening again?
What is happening again?
She gestures out at everything that's now frozen.
How is your twin?
Okay.
You said that you can see out through their eyes.
Yeah. I can't see anymore.
How long?
I don't know.
That's understandable. Joe, this is me asking you, the DM. You said that she could see through her twin's eyes for 4 years now. Is that the amount of time that she had been under this?
Yes.
Okay. So it had to have been somewhat recent, because she didn't mention this the last time I came here. The screaming comet that fell from the sky, and John presents the moon. Is this what you're referring to?
She recoils away from it and nods.
Okay, and John pulls it away. John pockets it.
All right.
Where are we? What is this? This is not Gior.
I don't know. I've seen this place die so many times.
What can you tell me of it? And don't give me details, just flashes, broad strokes.
Okay. She bits of it like refresh itself, like a video game sort of reloading, or like a film being cut. But when it goes back to its height, you see flying saucers traveling from place to place, and the people literally look like little green men, like classic Roswell aliens, going about their lives. And the whole thing sort of plays back, and you see, you've got it in your pocket now, so it's no longer there, but you can see the graves closing themselves back up, and bodies like, and you can sort of see the whole process in reverse.
Okay.
And she points up at the sky at a star that flickers, as if something had passed in front of it. And that's when the last body stuffs itself back in the tomb.
These celestial bodies that I'm seeing above me, do I recognize any of them?
No. You are not familiar with these stars.
I'm a pretty, not me, but John is a pretty intelligent person. Am I able to map out what I'm looking at, what celestial like is there star charts or things in the sky that I could try and, like put to a map,
No. You would need to like go back and look through astronomical logs. You've never seen the stars in this arrangement before at all.
Again, what I'm saying is I'm remembering what I'm seeing so I can write it down when I come out.
Yes,
and then
you are remembering it. Yes,
that's what I want. I want to be able to compare it to star charts and things to try to locate it. Has anyone else like me come to see you since you've been asleep?
She shakes her head.
Okay. Look, I'm not sure how much time we have. We're going to help you. We think we have what we need to get you out of here and bring you back to Northport again. You'll be safe. You'll be healthy.
I'm so tired.
I know. Trust me, I can understand. But we're here to help, and we're not It won't be long now. We're en route to you. Not, it's hard to explain. I know everything's very confusing, but you're in danger right now, but you won't be for long. Florence, what do you know of your father and his business?
Roll a persuasion check, John.
I do this thing that you request. And John goes on, depending on whatever is said here, he goes on to say, I'm not trying to judge you or seek to get you in any kind of trouble. I'm just trying to ascertain how best we can assist you, and it is important.
He hates them. He hates all of them. He's gonna pay for the campaign and get him elected so he can go overseas and just kill all of them.
The Omalon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's him and the mayor and the doctor, and it's all about killing them.
Dodson, you mean? Mayor Dodson?
Yeah.
And Zorbius?
Mm-hmm.
He's working with them in order to take down the Omalon?
Yeah.
Why?
The war, the last time, it's he hates them.
I know why he hates them. Why do the mayor and Dr. Zorbius care?
That's how they met, was in the war.
All of them?
Yeah.
Florence, did he turn to this life of crime in order to build the empire and the funds he needs to do what you're describing?
You can see she's having a lot of trouble concentrating.
Yeah.
He
Mate, real quick, is there any way, since I'm able to actually, again, I know that you're having me roll checks for a lot of this, but the messenger can shape the dream and create landscapes and stuff. Is there anything that I can do to try and ease what's pressuring her?
Roll an insight check.
Sorry, it's a little slow. It takes me a moment to scroll to where I need to be. 20, dirty 20.
He came home from the war and always said it was up to him to clean things up. Nobody else knew how to run things like an army. Just criminals. As she's talking about this, the horizon starts to waver and flicker and melt. And the car hits a bump. And somewhere in the physical world, Hara is trying to shake you awake.
Florence, we can talk some more when I see you in person, but we're going to get you out of here. Just hold on a bit longer. And mate, I know that like once I leave, I probably can't affect her dream anymore, but do I get the sense that there's anything I can do to kind of maybe, even if I have to use inspiration, spin spell slots, anything, is there some way that I can put her like in a bubble and sequester her from the nightmares that she's been experiencing?
Spend inspiration and roll a charisma check to try to will a sort of defensive perimeter around it.
Okay, let me drop the inspiration. Charisma check, here we go. Give me just a moment. Jack of all trades, query. Query. Charisma. Submit. A natural 1, I'm going to re-roll that.
Okay.
Not keeping that. And once more with feeling. And as I'm trying to sequester, as my connection to the dreamscape is failing, John realizes that everything he's worked on, like the moon begins expanding out of his pocket and flowing back into space. The dead begin to rise, and everything begins playing out again as John slips away. And I'm going to hit it with a deduction die. Come on, baby. Let me help this girl, this poor girl out.
Okay, 21.
All right. And am I able to sequester her away until we get there?
Yeah, what do you very quickly, as you're waking up, what do you just throw together to keep everything out?
She mentioned that she can see, or at least she could see through her twin's eyes. I know that we were talking a little bit about that before. Did she seem to have a good relationship with her twin before everything went to heck and she got in here? Her twin wasn't dead, right? Her twin was up and going.
Yeah, no, he was fine.
John is going to sequester her away inside of Thornacre. And she's going to have a scene play out kind of like WandaVision in sense to where like she fabricates, like everything zooms into this one little spot that is Thornacre. And until we release her from it or until this expires, she's basically playing out like a very picturesque scene of her father being a very upstanding and good man. Her and her twin just running around the estate, doing whatever it is that, let's say we put her at the age right before she went under, which you said she's an older teenager now or a young adult?
Yeah, she's a young adult.
So when they were in their mid-teens and they're doing this very picturesque frolicking, playing, chasing each other, playing tricks on people in the estate, just generally having this really nice, like I would say black and white kind of noir thing, but Northport's already a very black and white kind of noir thing. So like whatever they would consider a black and white kind of noir
early
thing.
1910 silent movie Charlie Chaplin stuff.
Exactly. And have we ever seen the mother's face?
In pictures.
Okay, then I do have it. It's not, I was going to weird it out and like have it to where they can't quite see her, but yeah, it's a picturesque family with lots of people that are hired to watch over them. They're very influential, and that'll keep playing out on repeat for as long as it can.
All right, mark down all the resources that you expended because we're still in the same day. The
Yep,
car
I have.
pulls up the wide driveway of Opal's fantastic mansion. Everett is already outside. They've pulled up a truck. They've got like a pickup truck essentially ready to go with a tarp that they can throw over it. They're bringing out all sorts of equipment. They're getting ready to wheel the pod out. Opal standing in the rain with her hat. Philip is here as well. Philip Carrington. He's on site as the car pulls up and the door opens. And Gastone, you're sort of the one who's running this operation. What is the plan? You and who else are going back to your lab?
Only John, Asena, and Hara.
Okay, so John, Asena, and Hara are staying, and you're just going alone back to the lab?
I thought we were following him with the trailer.
I thought you meant in general.
Yeah, run me through the plan real quick, and then we'll call it a night.
Okay. At the very least, Hara needs to stay. John and Asena, it's up to them. I need to go ahead because I need to set stuff up like ASAP for when the pod gets there. So at that point, it's just like hey, are you going with her? Are you coming with me? You decide right now.
Yeah.
All right. And we'll, as everyone, go ahead.
No, I just so Gastone in the cab, the rest of us all driving with the trailer.
Yeah,
or do you want someone in the cab with you, Gastone?
Does not make a difference.
I'll head in the cab with Gastone, and I'll leave Asena and Hara to drive the trailer.
Okay.
That sound good for Asena?
Sure. I'm gonna tell Hara how to find the place. I don't think she's ever been there.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna depend on Asena's memory for anything.
John writes down a nearby address and gives it to Hara as well, just as a backup.
All right. Well, unfortunately, she can't put it into her phone because there's no satellite network here, but she'll do the best.
No, but she's intelligent. Yeah, no.
All right. The cab disgorges some people, and then Gastone gives new orders of where to go. All right, meter's still running, guy. It drives down the street towards the bridge over the river. And the rest of them start working on loading the pod, which is flickering, with the glowing light inside and the temporary power supply is being wheeled up there. Everett's doing everything he can to keep it together with his machine empathy. Hara cracks her knuckles, her lightning arcs in as she hits it to stabilize the power. And when we come back, we're finally going to see if we can get Florence Giotto out of this thing. Thanks everyone for joining us. See you next time.